Now we are going to use line and clustered column chart, that is a combo chart. So in Power BI, a combo chart is a single visualization that combines a line chart and a column chart, right? Combining the two charts into one lets you make a quicker comparison of that data. Combo charts can have one or two y-axes. We use combo chart when you have a line chart and a column chart with the same x-axis. To compare multiple measures with different value ranges, we use combo chart, and to illustrate the correlation between two measures into one visualization. Correct. Now, if I click on this line chart and the clustered column chart combo, right? So it will insert a blank chart into a canvas. So as it is mentioning, select or drag fields to populate this visual. So here if you see, many fields are added up here. We need to use the fields from our query or the table to get it populated. One thing to note here is, you can if you see, by default the position of this chart has been set by Power BI by default, so you can drag this chart and drop it somewhere else where you need to place this combo chart. Right now, if you see the highlighted edges after selecting this chart, you can just hover your mouse over this highlighted edge, and you can increase the size or decrease the size of this chart. Correct. So now, um, as I mentioned, it is the combination of line chart and the column chart. So we will have the same x-axis for that particular columns and the line. So as we know that column charts are for the comparison of the data, and the line chart is for the trend analysis over the period of time. So uh, we will be using like the date column for the comparison and the trend. Let's say I'm using year in my x-axis. Correct. Now using the sales in my column y-axis, so it will load your data to your visual to that to get it populated this way. So we have 2 years of data, 2013 and 14, so it gets populated here. Now we have line y-axis as well. We can show some kind of other uh, visual or other field into our y-axis. Let's say profit. So it will show you a line for that particular profit. Now to expand the hierarchy of this x-axis, we can add more date columns, date fields here. Let's say I am adding month here, right? So you will see date and month, year and month combined data. So here, as you see, date hierarchy means we have day, month and year as the date format, and the uh, combination of 3 months includes the one quarter. Let's say January to March we have one quarter, then April to July we have second quarter, so we have that quarter as well here. So this is the date hierarchies. That means the bigger category including the smaller category, and that categorize the hierarchy. So if you see, we have drill options over here. If we drill up, then it will show the year data, that means the bigger hierarchy. Now if you see double arrows here, that it will drill down you to the next level, that is after year we have month, so it will show you the month. So these months showing the combination of 2014 plus 2013 data. Correct. Now if you go to drill up again, so it has been now again showing the year. Now if I use the fourth option of the drill down, that is this divided arrow, right? If I go it, then it will expand all the hierarchies into one level, right? That means year and month both. So for 2013 year it is showing data, and then 2014 it is showing data. So this way we can use the combo chart. Correct. Now we have stacked column chart and clustered column chart. So stacked column chart we have studied earlier in the previous tutorial. Now if I show you some more data into it, let's say I am adding COGS to my column y-axis. So my COGS value will also be added here. So this is the clustered column chart, right? If I scroll down, we have column legends. So legends are automatically populated here. The color indication here are the legends. For light blue color, we have sales. For dark blue color, we have COGS, and this orange color, we have profit. Right? We have some tooltip as well. So if I add, let's say, discounts to it, tooltip, then that particular discount will also be added to my additional information. So tooltip means if you hover over our chart or the bar, then we see some kind of data visible over here, right? So this is called the tooltip. We can show some additional information into this tooltip. Let's say if I again show my discounts here, then it is showing me discounts as well, but we are not displaying this discount into a chart, but we are showing into the tooltip, that is additional information. Now we can format this visual as well. To do the formatting, we will refer to the format your visual section of this visualization pane, right? Under the x-axis you will see some kind of value formatting or text formatting options. As I always mention that 8 is the minimum font size. You cannot decrease it, right? You can, but you can increase the font size, right? You can change the font family, you can change the colors, you can increase the maximum height or you can decrease it. This x-axis height will be increased or decreased. If you go to title, then you can change the title over here, year and month. So you can again change the font family of this title, increase the size, you can change the color here. So all the font formatting you can do. Again, if you go to y-axis, then you can set the minimum or maximum range of your y-axis. You can invert the range. Inverting the range will invert the range from 0 at the top and maximum value on the bottom. This way you can toggle it off as well. For values, you can again do the font formatting here. Let's say this bold, increase the size, changing the color. Display unit, so Power BI has the default functionality to display the values unit automatically as per the values we have. So it has automatically it has set to million. You can change it to none, no units will be displayed, but the complete values will be. You can set it to thousands or you can set to auto only. You can change the display decimal values, right? You can increase or decrease it. You can change the axis position. By default, the y-axis position is on the left. You can switch the position to right. Correct. Now on the title side, you can set the title of this y-axis. Let's say sales and COGS. So it has been changed. You can set the style of this numeric y-axis to title only or the unit only, or the, or we can show the both. You can change the font family. Again, the best practice is to keep the font families of every text or the values into a Power BI report as the same one, right? We should not keep the any of the values as different font families. Now we can increase or decrease the size of this. We can change the color. Secondary y-axis, so we don't have secondary y-axis with us, but we can set the secondary y-axis, right? So this will keep the secondary y-axis on. So for if you turn on the values, then the secondary y-axis will be enabled here for profit. Correct. So here you can just align zeros here, or you can set it to logarithmic scale, or you can set the minimum or maximum values. Again, you can change the font family and font size. Correct. You can change the color here. You can change the display unit, let's say thousands, or keeping it to auto, and you can increase the decimal places here. Correct. For title, you can change the title here. Let's say instead of sum of profit, keeping it to profit. For style, you can keep it show title only, show unit only, or you can keep it to show both, right? You can change the font family here. So all the basic formattings that we have already covered in our previous lectures or previous tutorials, right? For legends, as I mentioned, legends are these color indications that we are already seen here. So if you turn off, then these legends will get disappeared. If you turn it on, then these will be appeared here. You can change the position from top left to top right or any of the position. here, just like this. And you can change the marker style here. These round circles are the mm, styles here, called as marker circle. You can change that, right, this way, or you can keep it to default one. The text you can change again the fonts formatting here, right. You can increase its size. You can also change the font family, font color here. You can give it a title. As title field is blank here, you can type any title here, or you can remove it, or you can turn it off as well. Grid lines are the lighted lines that are helpful to read the data into our chart. You can change the color here. You can increase the width here, correct. And you can change the line style. Let's say dot is not solid dashed. By default it is dotted, right. But we should keep the grid lines as light as possible, or we can turn it off to make sure that these grid lines are not distracting the readiness of this chart, right. We have vertical grid lines as well. If you see the separator here for 2013 and 14 data, these are vertical grid lines. You can increase the width of it, right. You can change the color here. You can also increase the transparency or decrease the transparency. You can also change the line style here. Now, zoom slider. If you turn on the zoom slider, then this zoom slider will be turned on. This zoom slider is helpful to zoom in or zoom out your visual, right. You can turn off for y-axis, you can turn on for secondary y-axis, you can turn on for both, right. If you turn on the slider labels, then labels for this slider will be turned on. If you turn on the slider tooltip and you use the slider, then this particular tooltip will be available here, right. If you click on reset to default, then it will set to default formatting. These are the columns, right. So here you can change for only for sales or only for cogs, or you can change for both, right. If I show you, I am changing for sales. You can change the color. Let's say this purple color. And you can change for cogs, let's say this pink color, right. This way you can set it the border, right. You can change the border color here, correct. So you can keep it for all. You can turn on the border for all, and you can change the font color, border color. You can increase the transparency of the border, right. You can increase the width of the border, this way. For layout, so you can reverse the order here. For uh, sales and cogs, right. You can turn it off to keep it as original. Sort by values can turn on, or you can increase the space between the categories, right. So these white space between these parts, you can increase this white space, or you can decrease it as well. The space between series, so you can just increase this space, correct. This way you can turn the overlap on. If this overlap is effective when these spaces are set as per the overlapping setting. For line, so we have only one line here for profit. You can change the formatting here. Round type we can change. We can increase the width of it, right. We can just set the interpolation as linear or smooth. Smooth will be the rounded one. So smooth type you can change cardinal, or you can change it to monotype, right. You can set it to step as well, this way. For color, you can change the color of the line. Let's say this brown, this color. You can change the color of it. If you click on reset to default, then default one will be available here, correct? If you turn on the shaded area, then shaded area of this line will be visible to you, right? You can format the shaded area by just changing the color, the increasing or decreasing the area transparency, correct? So this way you can do. As of now, I am turning it off. The markers are these small rounded points that are on this line. So you can just on it to make it visible. Turn it off, you can turn it off. You can change the shape here. It is as of now round. You can change it to square, or you can change it to some other value, right? You can increase the size of it by increasing it or decreasing it. You can decrease the size. You can change the color here, let's say black color, correct? You can turn on the border of this marker. If you turn on the data labels, then these data labels will be visible, right? You can format these data labels, keeping it horizontal or the vertical one, right? You can change the position of these labels for columns, right? So you can change the position for line, the labels one, correct? You can turn on the title of these labels. Values, you can format the values as we have already discussed. The details, you can turn on the details, and you can add some kind of data into the details and do the formatting, data formatting. You can change the background color and increase or decrease the transparency. So if we have already turned on the data labels, the chart seems to be very uh, cruisy or very something like heavy, or it is not clear. We can turn off the values, or we can directly turn off the data labels, correct? Series labels, if you turn it on, then this series label is visible, and you can now again format it. Under the plot area background, you can go to the browse and you can set any image for this background. Now in general formatting, you can do all those formattings that are common to every chart, right? For properties, we can set the height and width of this chart. For position, we can change the horizontal and vertical position of the chart. Under padding, we can change the, we can add some space from top left, bottom and right. Okay. Now if you go to title, we can update our title, or we can change the title of our chart. This way, right? We can change again, do the font formatting here, increase the size of this. We can change the text color. We can change the background color of it. We can change the horizontal alignment. We can add subtitle here, right? And we can also change it, the subtitle, and format it. I am keeping it off. You can turn on the divider, and you can just increase the width of this divider, right? Divider is the straight horizontal line between the title and the graph. You can change the color from here. You can change the line style from solid, dashed, or dotted. Spacing, so this is the spacing from here between effects. Under effects, you can change the background color of this graph or the chart, right? You can increase the transparency. Visual border, if you turn it on, the border will be visible to this chart, and you can change the color. You can increase the width. You can you will see the rounded, you will see the sharp edged corners of this chart. Using this rounded corners, you can see the rounded corners, right? You can turn on the shadow, so shadow will be visible. You can format the color and the position of this shadow from all these settings. The data format, here is our whole number, correct? The month is our text, The sales is our uh, currency. You can change the currency format to the country of as per your data, right? You can change the decimal places here. For profit and COGS also and discount, we will have the same formatting as currency. Header icons are these icons. If you turn it in a Power BI desktop, every time these icons will be visible if you keep it turned on or off, right? But in Power BI service, uh, if you turn it on, then these icons will be visible. But if you turn it off, then these icons will be invisible in Power BI service. So Power BI desktop is for development of the reports. That's why these icons are always visible in Power BI desktop. So if you turn it on, the background color will you can change. You can change the border color. You can change the icon color. You can increase the transparency of these formatting. You can choose what icons you have to choose, right? For tooltip, if you see, we have this tooltip. You can format this tooltip as well for text. The same text formatting you can do, just like say a label color, the value color, right? Changing the font family, right? You can also change the background color, let's say this one, increasing the transparency to 50% or somewhat a little value, and you will see the formatting of this has been changed.